Press the bell icon on the YouTube app to never miss a video from News Laundry.
Today I have one such very interesting person before me. Please say hi to Nidhi Razdan. Hi
Hello.
Nidhi. Hello.
Hi, Meghna.
Thank you so much for taking out the time during this lockdown. How are you holding up with, how is the situation with you personally?
Not too bad. It's okay. I can marvelous night one and say Kashmiris are used to lockdowns, but I will not. I'm going to work. We're all working, so we're actually having to go to the office physically in segregated shifts and stuff. So I go towards the evening, and we can't help it. TV can't really operate that much out of home. We tried to do that, but it wasn't that easy. So it's not bad, but just trying to keep my parents' spirits up.
Yeah.
And just make sure that they don't feel sort of too hemmed in by everything that's happening.
Okay, so NDTV is one of the biggest and the oldest media organizations in the country, and you have a lot of employees across the country, right? I'm curious, how is it that your organization is operating at this point of time, right, during lockdown? More specifically, if you can take us through what your day looks like as a executive producer, like editor of NDTV and like a major anchor. How does this work?
Well, see, the thing is, personally for me, executive editor means that you're kind of not just working on your own show, but you're looking at overall the stories that we're putting out, helping young reporters in particular, looking at their scripts, the visualization of their stories, and of course working on a 1-hour show every day is a lot of work. So it really starts from the previous day. Especially these days, you can look ahead to what's happening, looking at getting good panelists. And look, frankly, it's not so difficult when you're doing politics every day, which I love. Indian politics is fascinating. It doesn't, if you follow it, you don't really require a lot of research or anything. But something like this requires a lot of reading. It requires a lot of understanding. Everyone's now a COVID expert, right? On Twitter, especially.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information. It's like an information overload. So you really have to be able to sift through a lot of the stuff that's coming at you.
As a journalist and especially a TV news anchor, what have been your learnings during this lockdown about what sort of changes do you see happening, especially in the way you operate after this lockdown?
Well, I think for TV, it's very difficult to, for TV, for the desk and for those of us who anchor, etc., to work from home as much as possible. I think we still have to be very hands-on. The fact is that, those of us who have to actually get a bulletin on air, you can't do that from home. You have to have a physical presence in the office just because of technical reasons. Now, will we find a way out of that? I don't know. But I think in general, and this is maybe in life also.
Can you tell me a little bit about these technical reasons? Because I'm a complete noob, so I would love to know what.
So
what
that you have a production control room called a PCR, right? Through in which you have a director, you have a vision mixer, the person who actually takes whichever camera on air. You have an audio person who and so you have a whole big team. You have the bulletin producer, everything, the people who time the bulletin. So the technology of getting this on air lies with the PCR and what is called the MCR, the master control room. So you can't do it without them, and they need to be physically there with those machines,
right?
And that equipment to get a bulletin on air. So even if I am anchoring from home, let's say, like I was that day on Skype, the PCR and the MCR had a role too to make sure that I was on air. So the only way they could do it was from the office.
By physically being there.
Was by physically being there. But I think it will force newsrooms like other companies too to see wherever there can be allowance, because I think that, look, even the lockdown can't last, but what will last, I think, for some time will be social distancing, finding ways to ensure that your offices aren't crammed with people, etc. So like, I think every one of us will have to look at if online teams, maybe half the strength can come back. They can do alternate weeks or something. I don't know. This is like totally off the top of my head before Sarna kills me for like announcing a plan. But I'm just saying that who can, like, other accounts, etc., if they can work from home or come in smaller strength to office and alternate and so on, that may be something we'll all have to do for some time.
If this is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Where people assume that they're going to see conflict and drama on news channels now, and news channels sort of assume that people want to see this more, so they will just give it more. But you sort of do not do that, or you refrain from that. Why is that? And why are you separating yourself from that herd?
Because we've always been like that, Meghnad. I think it's literally actually NDTV's DNA to not be like this. We've never been a news channel that's going to exploit, communal sentiments or play up Hindu-Muslim issues, or like we have certain values that are very core to us, which is that, for example, if we see fundamental rights of people being violated, if a lynching has happened, we have a very clear line.
Yeah.
Lynching is wrong. Period.
Yeah.
Garlanding lynchers is wrong. Period. Yeah. Okay. So that's a basic core value. And that's how we've all been conditioned. I mean, this is the only organization that I have worked for 21 years. And, that's an ethos that we've been brought up with, that you're not going to sort of raise your voice. We're not going to do this kind of tabloid journalism. And that's a fact. And that's something I'm really very proud of. And I just want to say that, as about your earlier question about what has happened to the rest of TV news, I used to think it was funny at one point. I actually used to think it was funny, and sometimes my dad will change the channel and Republic will come on, and then he'll just start laughing and then shake his head, because he's been a journalist also for 50 years, right? And he's like, what has happened, and he laughed. And I don't think it's funny anymore. I think it's dangerous. Even the way Muslims are sort of being targeted, or the kind of whisper campaign against the Muslim community in this country today, it is being amplified. It is a toxic environment that a lot of India's news channels are contributing to, and I think it is dangerous.
But
and
aren't there
journalism?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with what you said. Like, I mean, it is. I don't even call it journalism anymore. It's just pure entertainment. Like,
and it's not even entertainment. That's my point. I'm trying to tell you that we've turned a corner where you can even call it entertainment anymore. It is affecting people's lives. You're putting targets on people's backs,
right.
by singling them out on the basis of their religion. Just this name calling and labeling as sort of a lobby. I don't know what the hell is this lobby? What is Lutyens? Who's been in Lutyens, yaar, for the last since 2014?
Right.
So give me a break. So I think that the contribution of TV news channels and certain news organizations to this very toxic environment is very real, and it's dangerous, and we need to realize that.